Hello, I'm going to do a little show on self-love in the Gurdjieff work. Self-love, quite important, though sometimes misunderstood and obviously misused by many people. Self-love. So this is from All and Everything. If people lived according to this teaching of Jesus Christ, then all the motives for displaying this power would disappear, and thereby those shocks would cease, the satisfaction of which evoked the tickling of their inner God named self-love. We all want self-love. We all want to be loved. But kind of like I mentioned in one of the other shows, the golden rule, do unto others and all that, be kind to others, what you do to others what you want done to yourself. So we're trying to spread the love. We need to understand ourselves and to love ourselves as well. Can't sit here hating ourselves, otherwise we're not developing ourselves because we're putting all that inner negativity into ourselves. So this is from views from the real world. We have many independent enemies, but the chief and most active are vanity and self-love. One teaching even calls them messengers and representatives of the devil himself. For some reason, they are also called Mrs. Vanity and Mr. Self-Love. I would advise you to try freezing yourselves and to do it without unnecessary theorizing, by simple reasoning, active reasoning with yourselves. Self-love occupies almost half our time and our life. If someone or something has wounded our self-love from outside, then not only at that moment, but for a long time afterwards, its momentum closes all the doors and thereby shuts out life. Because we all want to be loved, we all want to be liked, but not everybody can love and like us. We annoy people and we make mistakes ourselves, and people make mistakes and then annoy us. Maybe they don't give us the attention we want, which is another part of the old self-love, is that we want attention from other people and it makes us feel good. But if we can work on ourselves and understand that this self-love needs to be the love that's a compassionate love for one and all. If you study the Greek philosophies, you know there's 7 different types of love, including the agape, and then the love that just is your brotherly love for each other, and then there's the sexual love and the desire, which often misleads us along paths. So we want to get rid of that vanity and that self-love, which some people have and some people don't. And some go the complete opposite way and start detesting themselves and really hating themselves, or need to build themselves back up. But then they go looking for self-love from other people because they want that satisfaction and attention from other folk. And as you're saying here, self-love occupies almost half our time, probably more than that, because most of the time we're looking for people's appreciation and looking for ways to satisfy our needs in whatever way it is. And normally that is to do with self-love. We want to be that famous writer. We want to be recognized for taking that fantastic selfie photograph of ourselves that we've just put up on our social media. We want people to notice that we've been here, there, and everywhere. It's all part of the self-love. So here we have a quote now from, actually, let me just say about the shutting the doors, because he's saying here, so if someone or something has wounded our self-love from outside, then not only at that moment, but for a long time afterwards, its momentum closes all the doors and therefore shuts out life. Because we start feeling let down or put out by that person, or that whatever happened to us that affected our self-love and hurt our vanity, that we hold on to that and we think about it. I try not to read reviews. I read our comments on the YouTubes because it's nice to have a dialogue with people, but I don't read reviews about my own work because it's great to have one a nice a clap on the back saying this is great, but the ones that slap me in the face, they're the ones that sting and they stay in my mind. But if I could be impartial, I would not let that happen. If I did not let the self-love take over, it would not affect me. It would not bother me. I would be seeing it that that's their point of view, Maybe they want to tread on my corns, but I mustn't let them tread on my corns. I must work upon myself and not let these things affect me, not shut doors. Now, we've all had them incidences where someone's annoyed us so much that we never want to see them again in our lives. That's something we have to work on. Okay, some people we do need to get out of our lives, like the psychopaths, but that's another story. So now we have the quote from, this is still continuing from Views from the Real World. We do not possess ourselves, nor do we possess genuine self-love. Self-love is a great thing. If we consider self-love as we genuinely understand it as reprehensible, then true self-love, which unfortunately we do not possess, is desirable and necessary. Self-love is a sign of a high opinion of oneself. If a man has this self-love, it proves what he is. Self-love is a representative of the devil, our chief enemy. The main brake to our aspirations and our achievements, the principal weapon of the representative of hell. And, the devil does play with our ego and buffs it up and makes us want to work from our ego and use our ego to motivate us. And our ego is driven by self-love and adoration and wanting to be liked. Like you look at all these movie stars and, they must be getting so much self-love from people, or sports giants or whatever. We put far too much on popular culture, and maybe even in the past it had been on spiritual gurus or something, but a true spiritual guru wouldn't want that continuous adoration. A true guru would want you to be developing yourself and working on yourself. That's what they want to see. None of these gurus that want you to thank them all the time and adore them just to increase their ego. But maybe a false prophet's kind of talk will have to come at some point. They're still from Views from the Real World, that self-love is an attribute of the soul. By self-love, one can discern the spirit. Self-love indicates and proves that a given man is a particle of heaven. Self-love is I is God. Self-love is hell, and self-love is heaven. These two, bearing the same name, are outwardly alike, but totally different and opposite in essence. We who are sitting here are safe from confusing one from the other. Genuine self-love is totally absent, so there is nothing to confuse. So he's talking here about how self-love can be hell or heaven, and as I was just saying, we love to be adored. That's heaven, isn't it? Heavenly. When we're ignored, that's hell. And genuine self-love would not let either of them things affect us. So I hope you can find your ways with self-love. It's quite a complicated thing. And perhaps, if you have time, go and look up all the different versions of what love is, of compassionate love, agape love, brotherly love, sexual love, your love for your neighbor, your love for your family. All these different loves are important, but it's great to be able to distinguish which one is which and work on your self-love. And remember the golden rule. Thanks.